Okay, Hazy and T in the building. We got UFC legend, Hall of Famer, Tito Ortiz. If you like what I'm doing, you hit the subscribe button.
What's up? I'm Tito Ortiz, and I'm coming up on I Only Touch Greatness podcast. Check it out, peoples.
The number one sports podcast in Vancouver with Brian Hayes. Roll it up and fire it up.
This is I Only Touch Greatness podcast with Brian Hayes. We are going live.
Hey, Tito.
Yes, sir.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good, man.
Thank you for taking the time to come on. I'm Ryan, by the way. I'm in Vancouver, Canada.
All right, killer. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Let me show you the size. Perfect.
Yeah, one time, actually, I was down in Huntington Beach, and I came from, obviously, Vancouver, and I messaged you on Twitter asking what bar to go to, and you sent me to your buddy's bar. It's got the, I believe, boxing gloves or a belt up on the wall.
Yeah, Legends.
Legends, yeah. Fuck, yeah. You sent me there. I had a great night. We went there 2 nights in a row.
Very cool.
And then one time you were up here in Vancouver, I believe, in Port Moody, not at our buddy Lance Gibson's, but you were just driving by. I was seeing that you were here, and I offered to buy you a beer, and you said you can't right now. You're training.
Yeah. When I'm in train mode, I don't drink at all.
Yeah. You're off the booze now, or you still drink?
I get to enjoy myself now.
Yeah.
I'm not fully training. I'm training for a fight, and I just go completely sober. I just put in the work, When after the fight's over, I occasionally drink. It's nice. Tonight, actually, I will because we're on the debate. So we got a little drinking contest thing that I posted on my social media. See if people can keep up with it. But we'll see.
While we're on that topic, you're running for city council, I believe, in Huntington Beach.
Yes, I ran for city council member here in Huntington Beach, and back in June 6th, we had a bunch of protesters down here, and Antifa guys from BLM, and they want to come down and burn our city down. And I called like 30 of my friends, 4 of my special force friends, and said, come stand with me, make sure that our city didn't get burnt down. And we did. We stood down there, and the police can't stop them from walking downtown, but us as citizens, we stood our ground, and we made sure Huntington Beach was strong. And they didn't walk downtown. They didn't burn anything down. Local cities around the area like Santa Ana, Garden Grove, Long Beach, and in LA, they've all been burnt down at that time. That week, we didn't get burned down. It just showed how strong our city is, of how much the community comes together. So I was like, man, maybe I could be a police officer. Maybe I can help out a lot by being a police officer. And I did the Martha McAllen show on Fox, and they said, you want to be a police officer, you got to do the right things and, protect yourself and so forth. Well, after I got done doing the show, I got about 20 to 30 text messages of my friends who were officers, and they're like, Tito, no, you don't want to do this, man. You don't want to become an officer. You become an officer, you put yourself in danger, you put your partner in danger, and you possibly put your family in danger. So made me rethink my ideas, and come to think about it, maybe running mayor of Huntington Beach would be a good thing for me, Mayor Ortiz for Huntington Beach, because I've been born and raised here my whole life, and I watch how much the city has been dwindling more and more every year with homelessness, safety, the budget that they're spending on our city is just crazy. So if I'm able to come in and try to help out a little bit, I thought me and mayor would be the ticket, but kind of realized that you got to be appointed to be mayor by a city council member. And so now I'm running a city council member. It's been almost 2 months, and I've been killing it, man. It's been nonstop. But the response I get from the citizens, from the residents here in Huntington Beach, they're pro Tito, man. They're like, we love your stances are, your beliefs, and just making Huntington Beach safe again. 1993, 1994, 1995, we were the safest city in America. Right now, we're 50th in our state of California. And what has happened? It seemed like the city council has been dwindling, just taking special interests. And this is my opinion. Once I say it's not a fact. This is just what I see of people not doing their job the right way to take care of the city. And for the future of my children's safety and my community safety, I'm going to step up. I'm going to put my name on the ballot, and I'm going to win. And I'm going to take lead. I'm going to leave the same ideas that I've had since I've been growing up here in Huntington Beach my whole life, of this beautiful paradise, man. Huntington Beach is a paradise, and I don't want to lose it.
I
don't want to turn into San Francisco. What Gavin Newsom did to San Francisco when he was mayor of San Francisco. We saw how horrible that has turned out. And now he's trying to do the same thing to California. So we need to get him out and replace him. But until then, I'm going to take care of Huntington Beach because they gave him so much to me over the last 23 years. Time to give back.
Yeah, definitely. What was it like as a child growing up in Huntington Beach?
Well, life was pretty normal up to about 7 years old. My father got his appendix taken out. They put him on morphine. He got out of the hospital. He still had the pain, and his brother turned him on to heroin. And heroin pretty much destroyed our family. My mother and father got addicted to heroin. I went on along the ride with them. We moved from house to house here in Huntington. And then all of a sudden we moved to Santa Ana, which is a close town to us, living in motels, living in trailers, living in people's garages, and ended up at my grandma's house. And one of my friends that I would hang out with, who was in a gang at the time, we both were actually F Troop, and he got shot and killed in front of me. I told my mother about it, and she didn't believe me. And as we're pulling up, he's getting carried away in a body bag. She told my father, either he gets sober, I'm taking our son away. And about a week later, he couldn't do it. He couldn't even try. And my mother took me away from my father. And at the age of 13, I got a second chance at life. I got moved back to Huntington Beach with my mother, and life was okay. I was a huge professional wrestling fan with WWE, or WWF back then, WWE now. Hulk Hogan was the American dream, man. He was the guy saying, say your prayers and take your vitamins. I mean, that was the type of guy that I loved. He was the American dream, and that's what I just wanted to be. And I walked into the wrestling room at Huntington High and come to realize that professional wrestling and amateur wrestling are two separate sports. And I asked the coach where the ring was at, and he laughed. He's like, this ain't pro wrestling, man. This is amateur wrestling. This is Olympic wrestling. I was like, all right. I still could slam a guy in his head, right? He goes, actually, you get points for it. I was sold. Started varsity my first year. Never wrestled before ever, but with hard work and dedication, I was able to achieve getting on varsity, and I did it for 4 years. And I just got to a point when I was 18. I thought I could be a big boy and live in this world easy, where it was just I could pay my own bills, and come to realize it's super, super hard. And I went through some challenges from 18 to 19. Got addicted to drugs for a little bit, methamphetamine. And only 6% that do use meth recover, and I'm one of that 6%, because a year later, a teacher came up to me who was my my college wrestling coach, ended up being my college wrestling coach, and he told me, he's like, Tito, you doing all right? I'm like, yeah, I'm doing great, man. And I seen him at some nightclub, and I didn't realize it. And he's like, you ever think about coming back and wrestling? Like, yeah, I would love to, but I'm just kind of trying to make ends meet right now. I work at a moving service. I do 16-hour days, 6 days a week. I'm just trying to make the money to support myself. He's like, well, you're Mexican, right? I go, well, I'm half Mexican. He goes, well, if you come back to school, we could possibly get you financial aid. And I thought about it. I was like, it'd probably be pretty cool. All right. Well, that night, it was Saturday night, got home the next day about 2:00 in the afternoon on Sunday afternoon. And I looked in the mirror, and it scared me, because I didn't recognize myself. I was turning into my parents. And I had to make a huge decision at that point of, am I continue doing this spiral down, or am I going to do something better for my life? And I had a wake-up call. That Monday morning, I woke up for work, and I called, and I said I couldn't come in today. And they were like, if you don't come in, you're fired. I go, I guess I quit. And I don't quit on anything. And as I walked into the coach's office that morning, he had a big smile on his face. He's like, wow, didn't think you're going to show up. And I go, Coach, I don't want to turn into my parents. I want to do something different. I want to do something better in my life. I want to give back, just to society in a positive manner. I want to do something right. And he goes, well, you made the first step, son. And won the state title that year in junior college in wrestling. Then this sport called mixed martial arts, the Ultimate Fighting Championship, came about. And Tank Abbott, who used to fight in it, I started being his wrestling partner. And then all of a sudden they made a weight class of 199. I wrestled 190s in college, so I thought I'd give it a try. So May 30th, 1997, I fought my first time in the UFC for free, because I was on scholarship for wrestling, and I didn't want to lose my scholarship in wrestling. I wanted to stay in school. That was my number one. I thought it was just fun, and it wasn't about the money. It was about just competing against another man. And I stopped my first guy in 23 seconds, I believe it was, or 30 seconds around there. And then I fought Guy Metzger in the finals, and I was hooked, man. Hook, line, and sinker, I was in.
He's became the UFC light heavyweight champion early on in his career when he defeated Vanderlei Silva at UFC 25 for the vacant title. He would go on to defend the belt 5 times, becoming one of the longest reigning champions in light heavyweight history.
Which is just amazing. My body has been able to react the way it has at the age I am. And, Randy Couture won the heavyweight world title at the age of 46. I'll be 46 in January. And I think I'm at the same tier. I'm at the same position in my life that maybe he was as a competitor. But I've been able to add a little bit something different into it of getting into politics. You know, I've never been a politician. I'm not a politician. I'm not a career politician. This is something that I've been doing my whole life, but I understand right from wrong, using common sense and just fight for my city. And, you know, I look at my life that it's kind of been a movie, man. It's been a crazy movie that I've lived through. I have my ups and I have my downs, and I made my mistakes. I never made a mistake twice, but I really just believe in working hard and living this American dream that we have here in America, man. It's something that Obama said back in 2008 that I was no longer alive. The American dream is not alive in America anymore. Well, in 1998, he said, Donald Trump is the American dream. Well, how can that differ in a max of 10 years that all of a sudden he's not the American dream? Well, I'm living proof the American dream is still alive because, you know, I've been able to earn everything I have as far as my house here on the water. I live in the harbor, you know, my Rolls-Royce Phantom, my Porsche, my boat. Yes, those are materialistic things, but those have been goals as a kid living growing up that I've always wanted to achieve. And I've been able to show that the proof is in the pudding, man. The hard work and dedication has paid off. I never step anybody get ahead. I always reach to help people come up as I come up. And I think that's just a human right thing to do for everybody, you know, no matter where you're from, you know, Canada, Mexico, United States, I mean, Japan, I mean, Australia, everywhere. We're all humans at the end of the day. It's just hard work and dedication, and that's what makes us true people to give back to society.
How did you, so this is a question my friend sent in. Your real name's not Tito. How did you come up with your real name?
My name actually is Jacob Christopher Ortiz, and Jacob actually came from the Bible. Jacob wrestled against the angel. Angel beat him, and he became Israel and saved his life. Well, I found wrestling. Wrestling saved my life. But Tito actually came from my father. When I was one, I was a little tyrant, and Tito means tyrant. And my father gave me that name, and it stuck. I loved it. I didn't like Jacob because everybody else used to say, "Wake up, Jacob," and just rude things to me. I didn't like. I liked Tito. Tito was always cool, so I stuck with it, and I've always kept it.
Yeah, by the way, Tito, I have my friend from Kansas City watching in here. He's got a couple questions for you eventually.
Yeah, I just want to say, man, been a huge fan since I first started really watching it with like Ken Shamrock and Horace Gracie, and you know the whole fighting thing, bro. We used to have a thing called when we used to knock people out. We used to call it the Ortiz. I had to say that my cousin would love this. He died for this. But you was in Trump Apprentice, was you?
Yeah, I was on Trump Apprentice in 2008. I was with him for 8 weeks, so I got to see what type of father, what type of man, what type of patriot he is, and businessman. And he was an amazing guy. You know, he really took his time with me. Every question I asked, he always answered, gave an honest answer, and he always gave me some great advice every time I would talk to him, man. He was a true man's man that had the time for me. I mean, being a billionaire, you wouldn't think guys have time for other people, but he was always a guy who gave me time, and I was very thankful of those.
Who's your favorite WWE wrestler?
Oh, favorite is Hulk Hogan. Come on. All-American Dream, baby. Hulk Hogan.
Brother.
What you gonna do, brother, when these arms wrap around you?
Monty Python. That's the only wrestler I ain't never seen before.
I hadn't got a chance to tell him yet that right before you we were supposed to have on Eric Bischoff, but we got him lined up for this Friday instead now.
Oh, right on. Tell Eric I said hello when you talked to him, man.
Yeah, because you guys were in TNA together for a bit when Hogan was there, right?
Yeah, that was one of the times I got a chance to actually sit in Hogan's dressing room, and we had about a 2-hour conversation, man. Let me tell you, he's a real guy, man. He's a really, really good guy. I have nothing but respect for him, and we have so much in correlation in life that it's just crazy that where we've been and where we've gone and where we are, and I have mad respect for Hulk Hogan.
Have you seen that show? There's a 30 on.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Prince. Have you seen the show 30 on 30 that they did? It was a documentary about you and Chuck.
Yeah, of course I've seen it. I had a lot of say-so that kind of went into it. You know, it was true to a certain extent, but there was a lot of negative stuff that came about that, you know, you really can't do much about because they have full control with the UFC. And I'm glad they were able to portray the way that they thought that I was, but it was more of control of Dana White. And I could do nothing about it. All I just did was agree upon it. They were with me for over, I think, 3 months, 4 months. And they got a lot of good B-roll stuff, a lot of good footage, a lot of good interview stuff. And they probably used about maybe 10% of it. And it was just crazy because they had to go a totally different way of what the truth was. They had to go the way that the UFC wanted to be portrayed and not the way that the truth truly was. And it went through 19 edits. And I just shake my head about it. But it's behind us now. And, people got to see what type of champs me and Claudel truly were. And, at the end of the day, I got to win and got my hand raised. I was really happy.
I had on Mark Hunt on my show. He also has a war with Dana. He couldn't even bring up the UFC around him. He did not like that. He just, it was hard. It was a hard interview, and I know he's such a nice guy, probably, but
Mark Hunt's a good dude. Once again, it's just one of those things when you get bullied by guys like that, you can't really do much about it. I was always the one to battle against the system. I was the person to battle for the future of myself, for the future of other fighters, and they really don't realize it. But, I have guys like BJ Penn always reach out to me and say, man, thank you for what you've done. George St. Pierre is saying, thank you for what you've done. But, these are some of the best fighters in the world, and we deserve it, man. They take a big chunk of what we earn for them. But when you sign the contract, you pretty much sign your life away. And if you want to be a UFC fighter, you got to do what they say.
What made you want to
say that too? Because I was about to say that that you pretty much stood up for that. I think you was one of the main fighters that was standing up for it on the money situation, because I think you was looking at seeing what boxing was doing, and you was like, and I seen that it was like basically like the company of it and all that. But like that's really bold things to do, especially when you're like on top and stuff.
Well, I had to fight for those guys that didn't have the voices. I had to make sure I step up and fight for their future and my future also. I just wanted to let them to expose of what UFC was really making. And in the beginning, they did invest a lot of money. I think they invested like $15 million. But to turn around 14 years later and sell the company for $4.5 billion, and none of the fighters got to see a penny of that stuff, it's mind-boggling. Just because of how much that we dedicated ourselves to the fights for training camp. And people got to understand when it came to fights, it wasn't really about the fights, about the training camp you put in for the fight. I'm training for 3 months nonstop, 6 days a week, 8 hours a day of just grinding myself, where I've had 8 surgeries. I've had 4 neck surgeries, 3 knee surgeries, a lower back surgery, a reattached retina on my left eye. But I'm still banging, I'm still training, I'm still doing the things that I knew I can do. And I feel better than I've ever felt before. But it just goes to my doctor, Dr. William Smith from Las Vegas, who did my spinal surgeries. He was an amazing doctor. But once again, I just had to fight. I had to fight for the right of these fighters. And I think I did that. And, the more the fighters speak out, the more they get smashed. And that's just the way it is, man. And I really didn't understand at the time. I just thought I was doing the right thing for myself and for the future of the other fighters. But come to realize I tarnished a lot of my career because of it. But I wouldn't take any of it back, man. I speak the truth, and some people don't like the truth, and some people don't want to hear the truth. But, at the end of the day, we're the fighters stepping in the cage, fighting, putting our lives on the line in training camp and going out there competing against another man, fist to fist, feet to feet, knee to knee, elbow to elbow, and submissions also. And it's a totally different sport, but, now I see it as an opportunity for a lot of younger fighters to come up and make a career of the sport of mixed martial arts.
What made you want to go out there back in the day, or what kind of feelings did you have ahead of time that made you want to go out there and just smash somebody's face in?
Well, I think being a kid who came from the streets, that, you live on government cheese and powdered milk and, not even Frosted Flakes. It was just flakes. Having that and never wanting to see that again, living in motels, never wanting to be in that again, living in a car, never want to do that again, living in a garage, never want to do that again. And always having the dream to be successful, always having the dream to wanting the great things for myself through hard work and dedication. Having children is what changed my life completely. My boys, I want to make sure they have a father. I want to make sure they have a father that loves them, that cares about them, that says they're proud of them every single day, and financially take care of them with love. And, the financial situation is something that I've really wanted to make sure my kids have everything I had that I didn't have as a kid, because my father wasn't there, and I'm present for my children. You know, I love my kids. I tell my kids I'm proud of them, but I make them do chores. You know, they don't have iPhones. They don't have an iPad. They're able to play Xbox, but they got to earn it by, you know, washing my cars or, you know, cleaning up after themselves, just making sure their chores are done. Yeah. And I'm molding men. I'm not molding entitled little kids. You know, I'm molding men. I want people to see who I am through my children. As they say, the mirror of yourself are your children. And that's what I'm building. I'm building men to be positive role models to give back to the society that we live in a positive manner. It's very, very important to me, because that's all I can do as a father, man, is do something right.
Yeah, this wasn't one of my questions, but are the kids doing any training? Because you have boys, right? I believe.
Yeah, I got all 3 boys.
Yeah.
So my oldest, Jacob, he wrestles full-time. My twin boys, Jesse and Journey, who are 11, they wrestled from 5 until about 9, and then I put them in jiu-jitsu at 9. Because wrestling's tough, don't get me wrong, wrestling's really tough, and the programs we have here are really tough. So as a young kid, and they're able to do those things, they have confidence in themselves, and they believe in themselves. So when I put them in jiu-jitsu, it was like they took it like a duck to water, man. They took it really fast. They learned really, really quick, but they were strong, agile, and they learned a lot of respect from it. I mean, and I think a lot of parents need to understand that with mixed martial arts. It shows kids a lot of respect and dedication and hard work that I've learned through wrestling. So I'm able to achieve these things through my kids. You know, I want to show them the right things in life, because I had to learn the things myself through bad things and realize what's right from wrong by myself. Now my kids have their father. I'm there for them. I'm there to answer their questions. I'm there to hug them. I'm there to kiss them and tell them I love them and I'm proud of them, and just be there for education. You know, education, you know, the sports stuff could be second compared to education. Education is number 1, as I tell them, because you never know if you get hurt. You got to have something to fall back on. And like I say, I push my kids. They're the twins are 11 years old, and they're in gate classes, gifted and talented education. The kids are really, really smart, man. So it's just what you feed your kids. If you feed them bad stuff, they're going to turn into bad kids. You feed them great stuff, they're going to turn into great children. And that's what I'm building. Like I say, I'm building men. I'm not building children.
Do you have a favorite sports movie?
Favorite sports movie? I guess comedy, I would have to say, actually non-comedy. Let's go right off the bat. Bloodsport was one of my first films that I watched. Bloodsport. That was a film that I watched and was like, well, that's pretty cool. And it was just like crazy, because I fast forwarded in life, and like I've lived through the life that he lived, and it's just it's amazing just to see how my life has turned out, you know. But that's one of the flicks I like to watch, is because it's with competition and with the same sport that we have in mixed martial arts now, you know. And that's one of the films that pops right off the top of my head for sure.
Did you have a favorite sports hero growing up?
Favorite sports hero growing up? I said there's probably a mixture of both. But number 1, Hulk Hogan, man. Hulk Hogan was my guy. I mean, he was the guy come running out with the American flag and, you know, say your prayers, take your vitamins. That was a guy who I looked up to, but I come to realize as I got a little bit older that, you know, professional wrestling is kind of the gimmick idea, but Hulk Hogan was an amazing man. Now, on the professional side of sports in general, of competitiveness, is Muhammad Ali. I watched Muhammad Ali as a kid, and it was just something that I had mad respect for the guy, because just his antics and the psychology he had behind every fight that he did, he would get in the guys' minds and make them so frustrated that when it came fight time, they wouldn't fight in their game. They would be outside the box.
All right. And you met Mike Tyson, haven't you?
Yeah, actually, Mike came to my fight when I fought in UFC 33 in Vegas. He was in my dressing room. I gave him some punishment gear. When he fought Francois Botha, he wore my beanie out before his fight. He's been to my birthday. So me and Tyson, you know, we're not super great friends, but we are acquaintances for sure. I have nothing but respect for that man. He's one of the greatest for sure. I have nothing but respect for him.
Couple of good people right there for sure. That 30 on 30, I didn't like the way they really portrayed you. You've always done nothing but great things for me. As I said before Prince got on the show, that you took time to actually reply to me that day, and I've been a fan ever since that day. It took one little fucking thing like that to send me to the right bar to have a drink. And yeah. I've been a fan ever since that. I know how much you've done for the sport, and I didn't really care for the way they portrayed you in that movie. And then you just said 19 edits, and that's kind of crazy. Like, that's what are they trying to hide?
They're trying to hide the factor of what they're paying fighters, how they treat fighters, because everybody came out and just spilt the beans. They let it go, and the UFC had, at the end of the day, had full rights of the videos and everything. They said, well, if you don't take those things out, we're going to just put a kibosh to everything. And so they had to run it the one way. And once again, I mean, Europe, you got to see how they treated me. And it wasn't right. It really wasn't right. It was Dana and the UFC and Chuck versus me. It wasn't Chuck and me. And Dana said in the very beginning, you know, there was a lot of hatred between Tito and Chuck and myself. Why would you throw yourself into the business when it wasn't even about you? But, I mean, like I say, I throw my hands up, oh, well, it's behind me now. And I just want to focus on the positive stuff in the future of my life.
Yep.
And well, UFC gave me a great opportunity, so I got to take advantage of it.
Yeah, well, get to some positive stuff. Get to some positive stuff, Prince.
All right, I had to get to the positive stuff right now because this is the best thing. I always thought about this, man. You was in one of my favorite movies, DMX, Jet Li, Cradle to the Grave with Chuck Liddell and Randy Couture?
Yep, you're correct.
How was that? How'd that come about with y'all? Like getting in the movie? I know y'all was hot at the time, but like how did they approach y'all?
They just asked if we wanted to be in a part of the film, and I was like, DMX and Jet Li movie? Hell to the yeah. And it was cool. You know, I got an opportunity to meet Jet Li and see movie magic happen in front of my eyes, and it was just something I never understood before. And I think that's what got me into getting other films after I watched that. But it was long hours. It was a lot of work, but it was fun. You know, I mean, that was back in 2002, was it? 2002, I believe, and that was a long time ago.
2002. Yeah, I remember that for sure. And then my dream match. I wish, because I heard you said this before. If you could have faced somebody, I think my dream match seeing you is versus GSP.
He's small. I love GSP. I don't want to hurt that guy. That guy's cool as hell.
Hey, he's Canadian. Good Canadian guy. Good Canadian kid.
Yeah, good Canadian kid. No, he's a really good kid, man. He's a hard worker.
I mean, yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, you got to understand how I'm 6'3" and about 235. GSP's about 6 foot, maybe 5'10", about 195 pounds.
Weight class, though.
Yeah, well, if he can make it up 205, I'd have no problem with it. Yeah. But I couldn't accept that fight because I love GSP, man. He's a good dude, really good dude.
Right.
Hey, where were you on that at the finale of the season 1 Ultimate Fighter when the Forrest Griffin Stephan Bonner fight happened? Where were you?
I was in the audience actually watching the fight. I was there. Yeah, I was there. Mm-hmm. That was an amazing fight. You know, both those guys don't punch super hard, so I think it was more of a rock'em sock'em soldier fight. But it showed how kids could have huge hearts and are willing to step in and fight. You know, I thought it was an exciting fight when I watched it. I was there in Las Vegas.
I gotta jump a little. Go ahead.
Yeah, I remember also because you was talking about wrestling, and I remember I think that was one of the dope storylines with you and Rampage, wasn't it? Rampage Jackson?
Yep.
When y'all faced each other?
We were supposed to.
How did that was? Because that was a dope fight.
Yeah, no, it was supposed to happen, but during training, I was training with Ferdisa Verdun, and I went to go hit a single leg, and I went to go take him to the mat. When I took him to the mat, he pushed my head down and grabbed me by my ass and put me head first to the mat, and I fractured one of the facets in my neck. So I had a fractured bone in my neck, and I was like, all right, do I fight or do I take a chance and not do it? And I was like, you know what, I'm going to take the chance and not do it. My doctor says you'll be healed in about 8 weeks. So they did actually, stem cell injection from my hip bone. And they spun the stem cell out and they stuck it in my neck. They injected it, and 8 weeks later, we did an X-ray again, and there was no calcification on the facet of my neck, and it healed 100%. So everything happens for a reason, man. You got to understand, me and Rampage, we've been boys for a long time. You know, for the first 10 years of our career, we trained with each other every single day. We got each other ready. While I defended my world title, and he was in Japan fighting in Pride. You know, me and Rampage just spar all the time. We fight every day. I mean, that was a part of our game. He's my boy. I love him, man. He's like a brother. But like I said, everything happens for a reason, and that fight didn't happen for a good reason. You know, I think money's not more important than our relationship. And at the end of the day, I love Rampage, man. He's my homie.
Yeah. Because TNA, you hit him with the hammer when he turned on him.
Yeah, it's all a gimmick. You got to do a part of the gimmick, man. You got to sell with the story, and I get it. I do it.
It was great stuff because it was never done before. I mean, UFC with, fighting and TNA wrestling. I mean, they had Ken Shamrock, don't get me wrong, but like having the two like look like they about to face off in the wrestling ring, totally, a great idea.
Speaking of Shamrock, what did it feel like kicking his ass in the finale?
I was about to say that's my favorite one.
Yeah, no, it was just one of those things that, I was on the high part of my career, but it was just the hard work I put into it. When someone gets under my nerve that bad and I got to put in the work, I got to make sure my hand get raised. And, when I carried him across the ring and took him down and put him in the fence and smashed him with my fist and John McCarthy pulled me off, it was just knew that the hard work paid off, man. It's just one of those things. You got to work hard if you want something.
And you beat him all 3 times, correct?
Yes, 3-0. 3-0.
Yeah.
But me and him are cool now. We're good to each other. We respect each other completely, and I respect him, and that's how competition is, man. You got to make sure you can find the best of each other.
I find even that in hockey, when you play each other on the ice, you might fight each other. I play hockey, so you might fight on the ice, but the moment you come off the ice, you're having beers with these guys in the parking lot, like.
Exactly. Same thing. Yeah.
Keep it in the ring, and you keep it on the ice.
Yeah.
Right, keep it on the ice. I had to think too. I wanted to say too, because speaking of Ken Shamrock, he's supposed to be I think he's supposed to be in TNA Hall of Fame. What you thinking about that?
I didn't even know that. Congratulations to him if he does. That's amazing.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. I think that's
what hardcore professional wrestling fan in here. Right on.
He definitely is. He's bigger than me.
Oh yeah. Well, I looked at it because they said there was supposed to be The Rock supposed to be coming. When they said they think that The Rock was supposed to be coming because he's supposed to be announced on there. I don't know quite sure, but I think he's pretty sure it's supposed to be in TNA Hall of Fame, Impact Hall of Fame.
Huh.
Yeah, you were inducted into the Hall of Fame before your final match or fight.
Yeah. What was it, July 2nd?
Forrest Griffin?
Against Forrest Griffin, 2013.
What were your thoughts on that, finally getting in there?
And being in the Hall of Fame, I think that's more for the fans, just to respect value that I've gotten through the UFC. But I think that's more just an award to my fans for the support that they've given me through my career. I'm very thankful of it. I didn't think twice about it, but to me that day was about fighting. And I thought I won the fight, but that's behind us now, so I can't really say anything more about it. But get inducted to the Hall of Fame. I worked hard for it. Having 5 title defenses, 5 light heavyweight world championships, and just being a inspiration in the sport of mixed martial arts to everyone who's been watching it, as just fighters or just people in general, kids too. That I've always given back. I've always given back and just try to help out. So to be in the Hall of Fame, I'm very thankful for it. But it's more for the fans than me.
You held the record until Bones Jones broke the record for 5 consecutive, but he's got 6. But hey, number 2 on this one is okay. Look how many people you beat.
Yeah, no, and I look at it, I think just the person in general, not just as a fighter, but as a person, the colors really show. So I just try to do the right thing, man. At the end of the day, I want to sleep good at night. I want to make sure I look in the mirror when I go to bed. I brush my teeth, that I could be honest with myself, knowing that I did something great for my community, did something great for my children, did something great for my fans that have watched mixed martial arts. Because if it wasn't for them, I would just be another fighter. And I'm very thankful for the things that I've gotten from my fans.
Do you remember calling out the UFC for removing all your shit after the Flamenco?
Which time? I did more than once.
The one time with the Flamenco, you called them out for removing all your stuff off the site. And personally, I love that shirt too. That Dana's my bitch one. That was fucking great.
That was, that was one of the ones I think I'd have to take back for my whole career. That's the only thing that I wish I would have thought about and redid the right way, not the wrong way. I know Dana took it very personal, and I apologize to him, but he still don't like my apology. But at the time, I had to speak my mind. I wasn't under anybody's thumb. I believed in my own rights. I believed in myself, and it's one of those things that you kind of go, damn, why'd I do that? But
this one's not one of my stats here that I got for you, but do you have a personal highlight or a personal low light? Now that you just say that, it might be one of the low lights.
Yeah, in my professionals history, I'd say that's probably one of my lowlights about doing that. I know a lot of my fans loved it. Yeah. I didn't like it because I got abused after that even worse by him, so I probably shouldn't have did that. One of my highlights, though, I mean, hands down, would have to be the 2 fights. Me winning the fight against Vanderlei Silva for the light heavyweight world title. Actually, it was the middleweight world title at the time when we fought each other. Yeah. But my number 2 would have to be Ryan Bader. When all the people asked me, what am I going to do after this fight? Am I going to retire? And I was like, what are you talking about? I'm winning this fight. I'm going to knock him out or choke him out.
And he won by guillotine.
Yep, guillotine choke. And that was one of the biggest wins, I think, of my career that I loved. That my back was against the wall, man, and I was fighting a guy who was undefeated. And I had to make sure I got my hand raised, and I did. Very thankful.
You had that third fight with Liddell, with Golden Boy. I mean, the contract, I seen this on that show, the 30 on 30, but they, the breakdown was nice, the 80-20 and everything, and it was shared and everything. They just blew it on the whole promotion.
Yeah, they blew it on the whole promotion. They just they didn't say what they were going to do in their job. Their job as a promoter, they didn't do it. They didn't do it, not even close. They did 30%. Me and Chuck Liddell did all the promotion for that fight. And it was kind of embarrassing. I told Chuck in the beginning that you shouldn't fight me, dude. He's like, yeah, just show up to the fight. We'll see. Like, okay, great. Now we're going to have to do this all over again, that people, Tito are afraid to fight Chuck Liddell. It's like, all right, guys, stop believing the bullshit. This is all bullshit. Now if he wants to fight, we'll do it. I'm going to embarrass him, and then everybody's going to say, oh, Chuck was so old, he shouldn't have been fighting. But prior to the fight, Chuck Liddell was one of the baddest guys. He knocked Tito out. Now he's going to be fighting Johnny Bones Jones after this fight's over. It was a bunch of hogwash, man. I knew what I was going to do, and I just dismantled him on his feet. I mean, I'm a different fighter than I was before, though. I have confidence in my feet. My wrestling game has always been good. My submission game is better than it's ever been, but my stand-up skills have been better than it's ever been, man. I'm confident in my hands. I'm confident in my big fist. I'm punching someone in the face. I'm moving my head. Before, I've always used my hands to block off punches, and with the Liddell fight, people got to see me actually move out of the way. Actually moving my head out of the way of the position so he didn't hit me. And it's just like that much I got to get away from a fist. It's not a big movement, just a little small movement. And that's, once again, boxing skills coming into hand. And I learned it through Jason Perillo, man. I got to thank my boxing coach, Jason Perillo. He's the man. He's one of the best in the world.
Do you have a favorite venue you've ever fought in?
Favorite venue I've ever fought in? Gosh. And I think it'd have to be Mandalay Bay. Mandalay Bay, I mean, I fought there 4 times, and it's just beautiful. I love Las Vegas, man. Las Vegas being capital of the world, and when you go there, they treat you so well, and everything's so nice, so clean. Food's really good. You don't have really no hiccups during a camp or after camp when you go to fight week down there. It's every one of my fights I've always had that I fought in Las Vegas, it's always been grand. It's always been great, and I've been very thankful to the community, and the hotel owners always respected me and just treat me like a champ, man. It's always been great.
Before we get to these wrestling questions here, what will we find in your iPod or in your earbuds before a fight?
What's in your playlist?
My playlist. So I listen to house music a lot. I mean, I listen to Afrojack, nonstop. I mean, I listen to a lot of house music because I want to listen to the beat. I want to get the beat where I'm going fast. I'm like just building the speed and build the endurance, and that's what I get from house music. When I'm chilling. I listen to, old school rap, as I guess you can say. I mean, like Tupac and Eminem, and I mean, Dr. Dre and Ice Cube and NWA. I mean, this type of stuff I listen to when I'm chilling, but when I'm training or I'm doing my long bike rides or, I'm hitting mitts, I'm always listening to house music, man. I just find the energy out of that is just, it motivates me completely. It makes me want to push myself harder and harder when I go.
Did you have a pregame meal or ritual?
Pre-game meal is always sushi because I want high in carbs and high in protein with the fish itself. So I eat sushi before every fight. My ritual, I wrap my own hands. I put my left glove on before I put on my right glove. throw up and cry before every fight. That's pretty much a ritual. And it's just any food that's in my stomach, I want to get it all out, so I'm not burning any of that. And the crying situation, I come to realize that it's the fear of leaving my body. So when I step in, I feel invincible. I feel like, I feel like a god almost, man. I feel like this man's trying to take my soul. He's trying to take my life, and I'm there to do the same thing. So when I step in, I'm confident, and I know all the work I did prior to the fight that I'm ready. There's not one rock behind me that's unturned. I unturned every single rock, and I put in the fight, and I put in the camp, and now it's time to fight and put my life on the line. People don't understand that unless you're a fighter. It's really, really hard because fighting is probably one of the most lonely sports in the world, because it all depends on myself. It all depends how I'm going to train, how I'm going to push myself, because I could just get by each camp. I could just get by, train once, twice a day, and just get to the training just a little bit. Or I could say, you know what? No, I'm going to push myself. I'm going to go to the max. I'm trying to make myself throw up. I'm going to try to make myself pass out. I'm going to try these things. And, there's always been 3 choices in training: die, throw up, die, or pass out. And I've thrown up a bunch of times. I've almost passed out once, and I'm still sitting here in front of you guys. So I ain't going anywhere anytime soon. But I just believe in just working hard, man, dedicating myself to it 100%.
If you could have played any other sport other than, say, UFC, what would you have liked to play?
Well, I've never played UFC. I've always kicked asses and taken names, so that's not playing. If I got into any other sport, probably maybe professional fisherman. I can't even think of any other sport that I would have got into. Maybe football, maybe. I just didn't really like the team sport stuff. I like the individual against another man because I knew the mistakes I had to do to be better, that I had to correct with sport. That was a team sport. You got to worry about the quarterback or the running back or the lineman to protect you. So I don't know. I think hockey. I've always been a big fan of hockey. I'm still a huge fan of hockey. I know Jerome McGinley really well from the Calgary Flames. I know he retired not too long ago, but
he lives around here.
Kenner. There's a lot of guys that I know that play hockey, and hockey's always been a sport that I was like, man, these guys are vicious animals.
Yeah, that's sure. It's a good Canadian sport,
I was gonna say, dream, any person that you could fight, anybody, like any person in your interest, who would it be?
And why is it not Dana White?
Yeah, Fyodor Emelianenko, and you guys may see that. I'm in. That'd be a great fight. Fyodor Emelianenko is one of the best heavyweights, and I'm one of the best light heavyweights. But I think that's a fight that never happened. That it possibly could happen here in the next year. You never know. You heard it first here.
I know. Are you getting ready for a fight?
Not just yet. After I win my city council member here in Huntington Beach, and on November 3rd, I'm going to start training. So I'm going to start putting in a camp for 2021.
Okay. Yeah. What kind of hobbies do you have? I read somewhere that you're a big poker player.
Big poker player, even bigger fisherman. Gosh, I just like to have fun, man, especially with my friends. Fishing's one of the big things that has really saved me as a kid growing up. So I live here on the water in Huntington Harbor. I have a boat behind my house, a 38-foot fountain with twin 300s on it. I do a lot of bluefin fishing, a lot of yellowtail fishing, white sea bass. I do a lot of fishing. Growing up, fishing's always been something that's been my hobby, and I love it, man.
Yeah, Go ahead, Prince. I got one question left. That's it.
I got one question. I don't know if you talked about it. I don't know if you wanted to talk about, because you go back to your kids. Your wife was Jenna Jameson.
No, we were never married.
Oh, not married, but your girlfriend at the time.
Yes, sir.
So I was just like, I know, like, y'all have twins with each other, don't y'all?
Yes, and I have full custody of my twins right now. That's correct.
That's good.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just
let's skip that shit.
Cause I remember. I just remember that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to,
Hey, I know this part of it though. This part might be okay. She was your manager for a while, right?
No. She was not.
Oh, that's what the fucking video said. That 30 on 30, right?
Yeah, they said so much bullshit in there. There was so much more bullshit in there that got cut out, which I'm thankful they did. But they tried to do their own agenda, and it was what it was. People know the truth. I know the truth. So at the end of the day, that's my past, and it made me the man I am today, and I'm thankful for it.
Perfect. Everybody. you keep moving forward on everything you do. You take a learning lesson. You might take one step back, but you take 2 forward.
Yes, I try to take 5 forward, but yeah, you're correct.
Yeah. My legs aren't long enough. I'm only like 5 feet tall, so.
Right.
Hey, go ahead, Prince.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, with wrestling, like, big dream match. If you could ever go to one of the matches, who would it be? I know it was with Hulk Hogan, but who else?
Scott Hall.
Like if I wanted to wrestle against another person in a match?
Yeah.
I would say right now it'd be The Rock. I would like to smash him like no other. That would be great. I used to look up to the guy, man, but I lost complete respect for the cat. So it is what it is. But
political reasons?
Yeah, 100% political reasons, man. It shows that he's a sellout, and that's my opinion, and it is what it is. I really just got ashamed to it because the things that he said and how much he cares about Biden or Kamala. Those guys are crooks, man. And it's my opinion once again, and I just put a shame to it. You know, a guy who has that much power in this world and has this much money, it shows that he's sold out to every one of his fans. And I don't know. Like I say, man, this is my opinion. This is the way I feel, and I'm a real cat, and I came from nothing. I'm living this American dream. So, you know, Biden's trying to take away this American dream, and it ain't happening because everybody here in the United States, they're going to vote for Trump. You know, and I know Trump personally. I know what type of man he is. He's not a racist. He's far from that. He's just a hardworking patriot of this country that's going to give back in a positive manner. And this guy is doing it nonstop. A person to actually take no money from the government to be president, you know, he's here for the right reasons. And I respect the guy. So, like I said, how Dwayne thinks, that's his opinion. And I shy away from it because I don't want this country to turn into a socialist country. I don't want this country to be taken over by, the left radical, where looting and burning down buildings is the right way to do things. That's not what my children need to have. We need to have a safe country, and Trump's the man.
So what's important to you now going forward in your political career?
What's important to me right now is just winning city council member of Huntington Beach. Once I get on the board of a city council member, I believe of being mayor of Huntington Beach, you know, after a few years of doing this and making sure Huntington Beach is safe again, where it was back in 93, 94, 95, the safest city in America. I did my job, so what's the next steps? And I can't really see the future. I just know what I'm going to do now for the next couple of years, and I'm just here to help Huntington Beach, man. I love this place. This is my city. This has always been my town. And I ain't leaving. You know, other guys like Joe Rogan, all these cats, they left California. I'm not leaving, man. I'm staying here to fight, and I refuse to quit.
Feel like you got something to prove for your city, you know what I'm saying, and love for your city. That's the best thing for anybody as a human being, to have love and always bring love back to where you came from, you know. Never forget where you came from.
Hell no. And I don't, because I remember as a kid growing up, you know, and hanging out with gangs and like just doing stupid shit. And I was like, man, this ain't what I want to do. This ain't what I want to do in life. And I had to have realization when I was 19 years old, if I didn't want to turn into my father, and I had to change, I had to stop being the victim, and I had to start being a victor and think that what I want for the future of myself. And then I had children. I had to make sure what they wanted for themselves through hard work and dedication. I mean, like I say, man, I live here in the United States. The American dream is here, and it's flourishing, and it's alive. But we got to wait until November 3rd for it to go by. And all of a sudden this COVID thing's going to go away, and they're going to say the numbers weren't right and they're wrong. And it's all a political scam, man. I just shake my head about it because there's been a lot of people whose lives have been taken away because of it. But once again, it's population control by the left. You know, they're trying to take out all the older people who are getting, Social Security and so forth. And this is my opinion. I'm not stating it as a fact, but it's a shame, man. A lot of American lives are being lost. A lot of lives in the world are being lost because of this coronavirus that was made, human-made deal. So it was made by a man. It's a man-made virus, and people need to understand the facts behind those things. I just shake my head about it because they really want to pull a political scam about this. And you know, Michael Gates said that this will be the first wave, and the second wave is coming. So I expect here during Christmas and Thanksgiving that something stupid's going to happen, and it's once again, it's a political scam that I got to shake my head about it, and hopefully President Trump makes them all pay for it, makes China pay for it, because this is a Chinese virus. Yeah. It's not coronavirus, it's a Chinese virus, and It's my opinion, man. It's the way I believe and what I believe, and I prove it by facts of what I've researched, and it is what it is.
Do you have a favorite drink?
Favorite drink? A Coke or a Pepsi? Nah, Coke's better than Pepsi. I don't know. I mean, like cocktails?
Yeah, cocktail drink.
Cocktail drink? Gosh, I'd have to say Jack and Coke.
Okay. What do you think about weed? It's legalized in California and Vancouver, so.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people who come off of injuries or surgeries and so forth that feed themselves with painkillers, that's not the way to go. And I heard medicinal marijuana, cannabis is the way to go. I've smoked in my time before, of course. I've had major surgeries, but painkillers ruin lives, People all of a sudden go from Vicodin to Oxycontin, from Oxycontin to heroin. So it's just one thing to another. Now, marijuana, you don't see anybody dying from marijuana. You see anybody dying from marijuana. As far as addiction is not really an addiction. It's just what you want to perceive of it. And for so long as our lives has grown up, we've always been told that marijuana is going to lead to cocaine, it's going to lead to heroin, it's going to lead to drastic drugs. Well, that's false. That's a false agenda that people try to push, lies. I'm for it, man. I'm completely for it. I am, and just as long as you're old enough, over the age of 18 to 21, I think maybe they should put a block on it at 21, just because of a lot of kids' minds haven't developed completely until they're 22 to 23 years old. I mean, this is stuff that I learned when I was in college with child development, but when you're old enough, you should be able to do it. I mean, they give cigarettes and alcohol, so marijuana is far reached away from those things of cigarettes being completely addictive and giving you cancer. And alcoholism is killing a lot more people than marijuana is killing people. So people need to do the research.
Alcohol is definitely the gateway drug. You don't get drunk and fucking, or you don't smoke a joint and then want to call the guy, but instead you drink and you want to call that guy. When you smoke weed, you just want to go to the fridge and have a couple bag of chips or a fucking Gatorade or some shit, right?
I'm hungry when
Yeah, so I mean, I drink a lot, so that's my weakest link. But at the same time, I also know when it's a problem.
Yeah, as long as you're able to control it, and not let it be a problem. When it steps in between life and yourself, that's when it's become a problem. You got to be responsible for all your actions. As I am with my children, it's really important. But at the end of the day, is just being a good man. And taking responsibility for your actions.
When you start missing work because of alcohol or booze or any kind of drugs, then that's your problem. If you can wake up and go to work the next day. Hey, I want to thank you, Tito, for coming on. We'll cut this off here. Hey, thank you, Tito. I appreciate this so much. And I'll send you a link. If you have any links that you want me to send you or add into this video, let me know.
Yeah, if you could add Tito Ortiz 1999. That's Tito Ortiz 1999. That's my Instagram.
Definitely, that's already a given. I mean, like if you have your website and stuff, maybe Cindy could email it over.
Okay, we'll do that then.
Yeah, because then I can at least have it on the computer. If I do it this way, I might spell something wrong. I'm an idiot.
All right, oh no, you're not, but all good. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right, thank you, everybody.
All right, cool, man. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. You guys have a great day.
Be safe, Tito.